Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fire Emblem Path of Radiance Footlock playthrough. We're going to take care of the preparations for Chapter 12, but first, our old friend the recap screen. Considering the last chapter was one of the cases of odd map design, in my opinion, with multiple side objectives per se, and while I wouldn't say it's bad, I would say it's heavily odd. Meanwhile, we're going beside Kilvis and Finissus. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce both of them, but we have shipless pirates, as they're telling us. And we're the other half of the continent, we have Goldoa, the dragon tribe. But Goldoa is normally secluded off from from the rest of the world. Interesting to see how that plays out. Considering that we're sailing to Benyon, which means we have to go by both Finissus, and we also have to go by Kilvis. Meanwhile, he's been moping around since then, but I have a feeling it's because of the Black Knight. Well, back in Toha, where I got to see the cruelty of people, but this prejudice against Laguz, it's so strong. They're not like us. Meanwhile, Mist has the same fear. Fear is a powerful motivator, after all. It's what causes people to do things. At least in fiction and in the real world sometimes. But that's not here or now. It's very hard. Meanwhile, Nasir, eavesdropping per se. Why are you here? Why do you associate with the Laguz? Obvious financial benefits, and he is Laguz. No tail or anything, but yep, taking certain steps to make sure that he's not recognized, which very smart. Changes attire, feeding habits, and many things to hide it. But learn to thrive and coexist, which I think is a very good way to look at it. Everything you must have seen, I'm impressed. That's for sure, Ike. Unless you look at it from each party's perspective, which is true. But long ago, the roles were reversed. That's interesting. Which is true. The past does not justify the present. Meanwhile, people can still like that. But his convictions will be tested, that's for sure. Believe me. Ike's not wrong. Talking to Nasir is very hard work. Meanwhile, very handsomely, eh? From Gallius Coffers. That's a little bit interesting to hear. In the meantime, here's the summary from our last battle. Spent a decent chunk of money, got some back, and we're here. Nobody's injured, and we're doing well. In the meantime, first things first, I actually forgot to sell something in the last part. So, let's deal with that real quick. Because I forgot to sell the statue frag, and I meant to sell that. So we should have an extra $4,000. As mentioned last time, statue frags are not that useful. The other Master Seal I have planned for somebody later. They're a little bit short, and they definitely need more than anybody else here. So, the other Master Seal is going in the convoy for the time being. Ileana, in the meantime, Leith is going to get her first bonus experience level, as I think she's close enough to a level up that I can get away with it safely. But for now, let's do what I normally do and get through all the info conversations. And there's a 3-star boy one. Wonder if it's an item or, in this case, south. Looks like we're getting a unit this time. Meanwhile, who's this? It's a stowaway on to board of the ship in Toha. Interesting. If you won't talk, in that case, I'm not going to waste time playing with this urchin. That's interesting. And start talking. What's your name, and what are you doing here? I'm a thief, but I didn't come on board to steal anything. Stop scowling at me like that. You're making me uncomfortable. And it's not just you. Ike always looks like that. Just don't mind him. And he's looking for someone. So, he's going there mainly because it's headed towards Benyon. Interesting. The trail went cold in Toha. Couldn't think of anywhere else to go and look. He's wondering, Ike's got an interesting point. Is it family? But they're family, even though they're not related by blood. So, I'm gonna aid Soph because having extra people doesn't hurt. And I can take care of them, which is good. And he's ready to do whatever you'll need. So, let's get into it. Soph. If you liked Volk, Soph is not going to impress you at all. Soph is honestly quite poor in the stat department, even for being level 1. And with a weapon type that's even weaker than sword, something that's highly odd. The only thing that's redeeming about him is that he has Blossom. This is technically not exactly true. The way Blossom works is that every time the random number generator rolls to a stat, it will reroll the growth rate as long as you didn't gain a stat the first time. Meaning that you effectively have 2 chances every single time you gain a level to gain a stat boost. But, with that said, South also gains less experience. That part is true. It's about, I believe it's 2/3 of the experience in this game is required to actually do that. But for now, I'm going to finish up the info conversations now with Volk. Ike now wondering where our thief has been. And, yeah, he's been wondering where Volk went ever since they got on the ship. And yeah, Miss has been worried that he's been dying of hunger, which is not the truth. And also charging money just to make him eat. And Volk doesn't like groups, for a good reason. It seems he always finds his forehead. Maybe he has a mark like Soren, or perhaps he's hiding something else. You never know. Interesting way to put it, Ike. Z-Hark. And you don't think you can trust me? Very interesting. See anyone in Toha who chose to fight on the side of the Lagoose. That's a very interesting way to put it. And yeah, that's a very interesting point. He only joined just to help save the Lagoose. But it wasn't quite that way. And Z-Hark, he's quite happy that Ike shows his conviction, which is nice. Meanwhile, well, his reasons are a bit private and very personally so. I won't explain now, but Z-Hark's girlfriend was a Beast Tribeman. And, a little bit dark, but it's implied that she killed herself shortly after. So, extremely personal, and not something that you discuss openly with Ike, for sure. Meanwhile, Ileana and her hunger pains, and being seasick. Well, long time traveling with Mustin, for sure. Anywho, at least she's good at magic. And it's a bit surprising, indeed. And yeah, Ileana's a little vain, but she's happy when people notice her magic. Just stay above deck. If you start to feel sick, look off into the horizon. Alright? It's cute. I still can't support Leth. I'm gonna save Ileana's support for Zihark, as you can see there. Rolf can finally talk to Reese, so let's get this started. Hello, Rolf. Oh, thank you for the hug. I don't think you can skip these, by the way. I think if you're looking at support conversations, you have to view them. And yeah, Rolf's wondering how he's feeling. But yeah, he's fighting every day. But it's nice to be with everybody. That's an interesting way to put it. While everybody was fighting, it's sad and scary. That is very true. Prayed so hard for their safe return. Those were the longest days of his life. But it's still good that we're fighting together. It's interesting, considering that everybody's described as one big family. Meanwhile, Rolf seems to be hiding something. In the meantime, I think that's all that is for now. Now then, for the bonus experience. Starting off, I'll see how many levels I can throw around, but I'm mostly going to try to cap up everybody real quick who's close to a level up. So I'll see you back here in a moment. Very nicely done, Braum. Next up on the list is probably going to be Ileana. See you back in a second. Very nicely done, Ileana. This is taking next to no time at all. Next up is going to be... where is he? Reese, and then I'll do Zihark, and then Leth. And if I have any extra EXP, it's probably going to go to Zihark. Alright, that's actually quite interesting, having the defense grow as well. Next up is Leth. I'm going to actually grab the Night Band from whoever has it for the moment, Nephany. And I'm going to equip it. And I'll see you back here in a moment. Very nicely done, Leth. Very nice. Very nicely done. And Zihark levels up even better. Okay, that's reasonable. And I believe that takes care of everybody that needs bonus experience. I thought I was done last time, but now I'm actually done. So, let's get to outfitting people. First off, I want to put that away and take the Lagoon Slayer. Zihark, you'll probably end up being the best. Boyd, I think I'm going to end up moving the Soldier Band off of you for the time being. And I'll move on the Priest Band for a little bit. I can definitely throw the Poleaxe back in the Convoy. I'll take that, and definitely don't need the Short Axe for this map. I'd much rather have the Iron Axe. I'm going to put that back. Put in the Steel Sword for the moment. Convoy, give this heal. I'm not sure if anybody needs the Draco Shield. I'll probably take a look around and... Actually, no, wait, I know what this chapter is. So instead, I'm going to take that and I'm going to use it on the Hark. As that should raise it up to 9, which means that at worst, if he gets hit, he's not going to be that badly in trouble. I think that's the right move, as it pushes him up to a threshold where he's going to be perfectly fine. Rolf. You're one of those units that could use more HP, but is also, like, perfectly reasonable as it stands. Ileana, your stats are looking fine. You could probably use a tiny bit more magic, but that's about it. I'm not that worried. Braum. Honestly, I wish your strength was a tiny bit higher, but everything else is looking up pretty well. Reese is doing just fine. I might even think about Master Sealing you once you reach level 15. But that'll also slow up your EXP gain, so who knows. In the meantime, Nephany, take the Nightband, as I still would much rather that be on you for the moment. Swordband, yeah. For those of you who are not aware, archers also have the highest skill cap in the game, or snipers anyways, of 30. So, trying to cap that out is gonna be fun, as I also try to cap out Rolf's strength. I might rig a couple of level ups as we go along, just so that way it's guaranteed to have max strength. Meanwhile, Boyd, I'm gonna have to rig a couple of your level ups just to make sure that you have speed. In the meantime, give the Priest Band, and I need one of the speed boosting bands. I think I'm going to steal the Thief Band that's on Reese for the moment. And Ileana is perfectly fine on her speed for the moment too. So I'm going to take the Mage Band and equip that. And Reese, I'm going to give you the Paladin Band to make up for what I just took off. The Archer Band is perfectly fine on you. Night Band's doing its job. Oh, that reminds me. Convoy, give. Give the normal Iron Lance for the moment. And let's forge another Lance and Iron Lance. Yep. Max attack. Don't really need to increase its accuracy. And let's see. What to call this? I'm going to call it... Wait, there's an actual weapon... it might not be in this game, but I'm going to call it a halberd. As I think it would be funny that we have the axe as the lance as a halberd. After all, it's a combo axe-lance. Anywho. Halberd, let's go. And to match Nephany's color scheme, I believe that's blue, so I'm going to make it blue for Nephany instead of having it be the color of the sharp stick. Meanwhile, I think that's everything else that needs to be taken care of. Soth comes with a knife, and I'm just going to see what else in the shop. You can buy men's staffs now. Perfect. Not that it's needed. And over on this side, you can buy steel bows as well as thunder magic in this chapter. I might pick up a fresh steel bow, but I don't think I need it for the time being. So with that done, let's go see the early story stuff before you would normally go take on the chapter. Leaving the base. We're being followed by pirates with no ships, but instead we have boatless pirates. And they're pirates from Kilvis too, which means that they're ravens. Wow. I accidentally heard stories. And airborne forms can be troublesome. But they're going to be a little bit more cruel because we're not using anybody mounted, or flying in this case. And everybody's got to try to get the ship free. Looks like we're in for a fight. Even though we're actually bordering Goldoa. But we have bigger worries with these pirates and Seeker. It won't be long before Phoenixes or Goldoa take interest in what's happening here. It looks like these guys are not supposed to be out at sea where they're at. Meanwhile, they're vulnerable to wind magic, and they're susceptible to arrows like other flyers too. Alright everybody, to the deck. Let's get this going. Let's do it. Choose units. I'm gonna make sure everybody's in here. Mordecai and Volk, get out of here, as I want Reese for sure, and I'll make sure that nobody else needs to come aboard. I think the answer is no. I could very well leave out people, but I'm gonna bring in Mordecai just for the moment. And how do I want this set up? I know I want the Lagoose Slayer stuff here, but I think I want Braum and Nephany back here in particular, as I think Z-Harker will take one side, Braum, Nephany, and Rolf will take care of the other. Wolf in particular shouldn't have any trouble with the birds. And yeah, Boyd's a safety crutch at this point, as he's so freaking strong. But I don't think I'll have to worry about capping his strength. Meanwhile, anything worthwhile stealable. The one dude has coin. If this were not equipped, I absolutely would recommend stealing it. But as it stands, he has a droppable blue gem and he carries an elixir. You'd have to have 17 speed on your thief, in particular, to steal. Which unfortunately means that Volk wouldn't be able to steal anyways. As for the dude with the coin, coins aren't that important. You'd have to have 14 speed. But for now, I think that's it. And this guy drops an arm scroll. Yep, there's the other one. I was wondering where it was. Reposition back here and over here. Okay. With that out of the way, let's save, and I'll meet you guys back here for the gameplay part. Thank you for watching, everybody. Please hit the like, comment, and subscribe buttons, as well as hit the notification bell to stay up to date. The next part is in the description, or it should be on screen right now. I'll see you for the battle in the next part.